So it's Tuesday, and I'm just finishing up my morning files, even though it's 1 p.m. So I mentioned last time about the 50% donation thing for the painting of the month thing that I was doing. And I was wondering how it was going to go if I extended that onto if it sales in Etsy, because I could either make the painting for the vet office and just not list it until I get it back. They would take at least like 5% of it because I was paying shipping out of pocket for paintings. And the reason why I was doing that, it sounds kind of silly, because I was bombarded over and over again by Etsy with their shipping. And I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but I had an issue where I was listing something really small that I would just send through letter mail, probably something like a trading card. So I was just going to throw it in an envelope and send it with a stamp. It was really light, because otherwise, for a little $10 card, I didn't want to charge $14 shipping. I set that shipping for the price of postage, so it was literally $1.50. $1.50, and Etsy little stupid pop-ups popped up and said, "Our customers prefer cheaper shipping. Are you sure you want to increase your shipping cost to $1.50? And I was just blown away. Like, the nerve of a company saying something like that. Like, $1.50, really? Etsy could not offer $1.50 shipping for any of their shipping calculations. So I don't know why they're giving me crap. I think they just give everyone that pop-up, no matter what the shipping cost is. But it's annoying. It's annoying to every Etsy seller out there. Pressures people to do things like I was doing, which was, I have a profit on my paintings built in, just like every other product being sold out there in the world. And at the time, people were talking about how only items that offered free shipping were being shown in search results. So I thought, you know what, if my listings show up in search results, I'm willing to do an experiment and just pay out of pocket for shipping. If it's true, if they actually did that with your listings. And it turns out, after a while of doing this experiment, I haven't noticed any real change. Now, I'm not a popular creator by any means, but I'm fairly certain that most of my traffic is from YouTube. I'm going to say. Not social media, because my social media is not that great. Direct traffic is 30%, and the Etsy page traffic is 30%, and the search is only 9%. I don't know what Etsy app and other Etsy pages means. I don't know if that means, like, if someone sees one of my listings and then clicks on another of my listings from that listing might even count into that, or sometimes they do you liked this item, here's another item similar to that kind of thing, maybe. It seems weird that that's way higher than search. But I guess not, because if you're competing with 1 million items, you have to be one of those first. I think it was like 10,000 listings to pop up, right? So it is about half of it. But at the same time, we're talking about, in 7 days, I've had 60 visits. So, half of that is 30. So it's 30 visits in 1 week. Like, that is the best that Etsy can offer me. So, free shipping doesn't do squat. The point of this is that I nixed it. I've nerfed free shipping for the time being, just to make it easier for me to make decisions like this. But when I have it on calculated, Etsy calculated shipping, they calculate it for you. That also means that people can choose whether or not they want to have tracking. Whereas before I was just doing fixed prices and putting it up for the lowest cost possible, because that's what people want, especially according to Etsy, and tracking is a bunch of money. So if y'all want tracking, I assume that is now available to y'all. Probably going to try to put hangers on the back of this. I think I might do the nail kind. I've started the Muji sketchbook for Patreon, pretty much just doing doors and passages theme. But what I've been doing is I've just been choosing a day on the weekend to do sketching. Oh, I finally also got the 3rd commission for Kickstarter, and people keep giving me original character requests, which is super interesting and scares the heck out of me because I haven't really done stuff like that since high school, so I'm like really self-conscious about it, and they haven't gotten back to me yet, and I'm just like, Anyway. I couldn't decide if I wanted to start this one or this one, because this one I have a feeling, while it's very thin, it probably takes watercolor in a really interesting way. I don't know. I don't know. I'm having like January uncertainty. I was saving this as a, what do you call that? An altered art journal thing? Because this cover is just friggin' gorgeous. I bought this at the library. They usually sell their old books that they're gonna throw away. So I decided maybe I should turn it into a personal encyclopedia journal. There's some pictures in here as well. Very cute. The ballpoint pen wasn't really working so well on the gesso that I put down here, because I've been using the Pitt pens for this, and there isn't really much variation in line weight at all involved, and I have to push kind of hard because of the angle of the nib. It has to be pretty much straight on. So my hands were quite sore on Sunday. This is like why I was talking about sketchbooks and journals and stuff. I keep starting new ones, and I'm cranking up the sketching a lot. And if I have, 50 books at the age of 35, am I going to have 200 at the age of 70? How's that going to work, Like, I was going to say you could probably just, start over and draw on top of all the books that you had before, but you know how I love new sketchbooks and collect new sketchbooks all the time. There's nothing better than cracking open a fresh sketchbook. Oh my gosh, I have exactly 9 of these left. Not really thin enough to hammer in, so I'll probably have to get out the glue, which is pretty much dried up in here. I'm out of packing tape almost. I'm out of regular school glue. I'm gonna have to go on a fixative shopping spree soon. I also got to list this other pendant that I didn't know what to do with because of the way the cabochon didn't fit in the holder. But when I had that extra resin for the bees, I used it to fill the gaps, and I worried that you could see a line where the glass meets the resin, and honestly it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna put that one up. I saw a bunch of master lists with links to different book publishers and their submission process, so I thought that I could start sending my art to different publishers just to see if maybe it could lead into some illustration stuff. I don't know. I feel really naive because I didn't go to school for illustration, but I do know that most of what people are looking for is portfolio anyway, and I feel like my art is already ready. Like, I feel like it's at that place where I should be able to do something of use to somebody. And since it's not illegal to send applications to people, and it's kind of easy, so it's not like it's a gigantic obstacle or anything. However, a lot of them do ask specifically for child drawings, and so I want to take a minute this week to see if I can hash out an actual art style for people because it's something that I tend to avoid doing. It makes me nervous. Well, I hope I can think of something. I know that not every illustration has humans in it, but I feel like it would be better to know what I'm capable of and have something to show for it, before throwing my art out into the world like this. Or it could be a giant waste of time, but it doesn't cost me anything. And the idea of somebody looking at my email going, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person thinks that they can just send art to my publishing company for illustration work. How dare they? I don't know, I feel like I'm okay with potentially embarrassing myself in an email, That's not a big deal, so I'm going to give that a try, I guess.